Hello and welcome to airgunweb.com, your home for honest, real-world airgun reviews and information where we bring you the facts, not fluff. So what do you do when you need to maintain your skill set on your favorite rifle and the weather is just not cooperating? If you've got a really powerful Springer, you may have a challenge on your hands. But if your favorite rifle happens to be the Benjamin Marauder, then you're not going to have any problems at all. Recently we looked at the Benjamin Discovery running on CO2. And in this review, we take a look at one of my favorite rifles of all time, the Benjamin Marauder 22 caliber, this time running on CO2. Now it's been a while since we've looked at the Benjamin Marauder, so let's go ahead and take a good close-up look at this gun. The Benjamin Marauder was a major leap forward in affordable PCP airguns. It puts affordable, accurate, powerful shooting well within the reach of most average airgunners. The jump from the Benjamin Discovery to the Benjamin Marauder with regards to features was significant. The Benjamin Marauder ships with a full-size ambidextrous stock, sling studs, and a wonderfully smooth all-metal trigger. It also made the leap from a single-shot rifle to a multi-shot rifle. But perhaps the most impressive upgrade was the new shroud and baffle system. This greatly reduced the rapport of the rifle, making it suitable for shooting in almost any environment. The Benjamin Marauder is so quiet that I can shoot within feet of my neighbor's house without disturbing them. Like the Benjamin Discovery, the Benjamin Marauder can operate on either high-pressure air or CO2. This makes this rifle extremely flexible. There's an integrated gauge that shows the pressure for either fuel. When running on HPA, the rifle can be filled up to 3,000 psi. When running on CO2, the pressure will top out at around 900 psi. Given that the temperatures here in Arizona have been extreme, the option to run on CO2 means that I can take my Marauder indoors and continue to practice my technique. When you consider the accuracy, ergonomics, ease of shooting, and price point of under $470, it's easy to see that the Marauder is an amazing value. Before you use CO2 in your Marauder, you need to first empty the gun completely. You can either shoot out all the air, or you can use the degassing tool. When switching back to the high-pressure air, you'll need to make sure that you empty out all the CO2 before filling your gun. To bulk fill your Marauder, you need a bulk fill kit, which you can get from Pyramid Air. It's pretty straightforward. You're going to attach the kit to the gun's fill port, and then attach your CO2 bottle to the other end of the kit. It's important to remember that CO2 is a liquid, so you're going to tip the bottle upside down to make sure that the CO2 flows into the gun. Check your gauge on your Marauder to make sure that you're full of CO2. Now CO2 is temperature sensitive. It doesn't work really well if it's too hot or too cold. Our shop is about 78 to 80 degrees, which is just about right. Now CO2 operates at 900 psi. You're not going to see your pressure go above 900 psi on the gauge. This is normal. Once you've filled your Marauder, you need to bleed off the extra CO2 from the line and disconnect the fill equipment. Once you have your gun full of CO2, it's time to load the magazine, cycle the bolt, and fire the gun. Let's go through this process. The Marauder's magazine is filled by rotating the cover until it locks, inserting a single pellet to hold the spring in place, and then rotating the clear cover backwards, filling each hole with a pellet as you work your way back. Once full, the clear cover will click into place. Before you insert the magazine, make sure your safety is on. You'll need to pull the bolt back in order to install the magazine. Be sure to fully cycle the bolt so that you are sure that it's cocked all the way. Not cycling the bolt all the way can cause you to double load pellets into your gun. Once you've installed the magazine and cycled the bolt, you're ready to aim the gun and fire. To fire, simply aim the gun at your desired target, release the safety, and gently squeeze the trigger. Be sure to re-engage the safety after you fire. To fire the next pellet, simply repeat the process. In 177 and 22 caliber, magazines hold 10 pellets each. The 25 caliber magazine holds 8 pellets. The Benjamin Marauder did pretty well when it came to performance, and it did exceptionally well when it came to accuracy. Let's start with performance. I did most of my shooting with Crossman Premier hollow points. They're 14.3 grain and they averaged around 560 feet per second. This was not surprising to me, as this gun is definitely configured more for HPA versus CO2. Now I want to make a distinction here. There's a difference between a hot fill CO2 and a cold fill CO2. A hot fill is when you simply attach the CO2 and don't try to freeze the chamber before filling. This results in less CO2 getting into the gun. If you had access to a large bulk fill CO2 bottles, like they use in most paintball shops, then you'd rather probably want to cold fill your gun. Now to cold fill your gun, you need to be able to open the valve and basically freeze the chamber. This allows you to get a lot more CO2 into the chamber, which in turn yields more shots. The other thing you can do if you plan to primarily shoot CO2 out of your Marauder is to tune the gun to be more efficient on CO2. Let me give you an example. When I shot the gun in factory configuration using a hot fill, I was able to get about 30 shots before the point of impact changed at 10 yards. This number increased to 60 shots with a cold fill. Now, after a little time working with the gun to tune it to be more efficient on CO2 and cold filling the gun, that number rose to well over 120 shots. The feet per second also improved and averaged around 570 feet per second across the majority of those shots. Now, accuracy with the Marauder is almost too easy. As you can see here, shooting indoors on CO2 at 10 yards is hardly a challenge. In fact, you can keep all 50, 60, or even 100 shots within the size of a nickel. This is actually great fun, and regardless if you hot fill or cold fill, run factory settings or more efficient CO2 settings, the gun will still put shot after shot in the 10 ring. So let's go ahead and take a look at our final summary. The Benjamin Marauder brings amazing versatility to the table. With the same gun, you can go small game hunting one day, and then simply by switching from high pressure air to CO2, shoot quietly and safely in your backyard or even indoors. It is really the best of both worlds. And if you like to tinker, this rifle has the flexibility to be tuned optimally to either HPA or CO2. The only thing you really need are a couple of Allen wrenches and a chronograph. And of course, you're going to need a lot of patience. When you consider all that the Benjamin Marauder delivers for a price tag of under $470, you start to get a picture of what Benjamin has created with this rifle and why it's one of my favorite rifles of all time. I'd like to take a moment and thank the folks at Pyramid Air for sponsoring our channel and of course this review. When you're looking for your next airgun or you're looking to fill your next airgun supply order, please visit www.pyramidair.com or give them a call at 888-262-4867. And please be sure to let them know that you learned about them here at Airgun Web. When you're looking for honest, real-world airgun reviews, think Airgun Web, where we tell you the facts, not fluff. I'm Rick Utzler with AirgunWeb.com. Thanks again for watching.